So we're Barry and Dawn, and then Brian told me he was able to come tonight. Adrian, are you doing minutes for us tonight?
Yeah, I got on Monday.
There's Barry.
Hi, Barry.
Barry's the very, very last person that I need a video from for the reading.
Barry.
I sent it to you.
It didn't come through. You sent me an empty message, probably because it was too big. I emailed you back. I texted you. I tried texting, tried my Gmail. But what I got was
twice.
you texted it or emailed it?
No, I texted it twice to you.
No, I don't got it. That's weird. No, the last thing I have is me texting you. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm okay. So everything's okay.
We'll find out. I didn't find out today.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
No. So I thought I would.
But you didn't. I still have nothing, Barry.
All right. I tried it just now again.
All right, let's give it a minute, maybe. All right, so I don't see Brian. I know Rabbi Pincus could not make it tonight.
Okay.
We do have a really, really jam-packed agenda, so maybe we should get started. You know, I have to do the little reading first. So why don't I at least start with that?
Is Jennifer ready? Let me check.
Yeah, check.
I just resent it in a different format.
Okay.
It says it's sending, so
Okay.
let me know if you get it.
Jennifer, are you ready for us to start?
Jennifer ready? Check.
Yeah, check. I got it. Thank you, Barry. Wait, you're not at the crosswalk.
No, I didn't.
All right, before we go, would we like to identify the callers?
Let me read the thing first, Mode. Let me read the thing first.
Okay, let me see if Jennifer is ready.
Okay.
Jen, are you ready? Okay.
I'm going to mute the callers for now. Thank you, Jennifer. All right. So this is the December 2nd meeting of the Human Rights Commission. This meeting will come to order. This is Sarah Raskin, co-chair of the West Hartford Human Rights Commission, and I'd like to welcome you to the virtual December 2nd meeting of the Commission. Because in-person attendance at public meetings is likely to increase the risk of transmission of COVID-19, this meeting is being conducted in accordance with Governor Lamont's Executive Order 7B, which permits municipalities to conduct public meetings virtually. Commission members and some town staff are participating by WebEx, and members of the public can access this meeting by calling 1-408-418-9388 and using access code 173-937-4105. The public can watch on Comcast Channel 96, Frontier TV Channel 6099, or www.whctv.org. Because of the virtual format, there are some special rules and procedures I need to cover. First, I ask all participants to please mute your devices when you are not speaking. If you wish to be recognized, please raise your hand and I will call on you. If you are participating via audio only and I do not call on you, please unmute your phone and let me know so I can recognize you. Second, pursuant to Executive Order 7B, all speakers must state their name and title each time they speak. Third, because of the difficulty in tallying voice votes on video conference, all votes will be taken by roll. Fourth, when it's time for the public comment portion of the meeting, I will turn the meeting over to the moderator. The moderator will announce the first 3 digits of a phone number, and the person who called with that number may unmute his or her phone, restate their name, provide their address, and deliver comments or questions. The moderator will proceed in this manner until all members of the public who have called in have had an opportunity to speak. The moderator will then turn the meeting back to me, and I will continue with the remaining agenda items. We will repeat this process until we have unmuted every phone line. It is very important that you say your name each time you are prompted by the moderator. If the moderator unmutes a phone line and does not hear a voice, the phone line will be removed from the conference. Okay, and now I need to call the roll. So, Adrian Billings-Smith,
Present.
Barry Walters,
Present.
Don Ennis,
I'm here.
Krishna Adhikari,
Present.
Pramod Pradhan, Pramod,
Present.
and then Isam, I don't see, and Brian, I don't see. And then we knew Rabbi Pincus was unable to make it. So our typical method has been to do public comment first. And so, I don't know, Pramod, if you want to just start with taking callers. You're muted, Pramod. You're muted.
Okay, this is Pramod Pradhan. I would like to call, please identify the caller with 3015 and ending with 35. Okay, caller 3015 ending with 35. You can unmute your phone. Okay, I'll move on to the next caller. Caller's number starts 6175 and ending with 79. Caller 6175 ending
Hello?
with 79. Hello?
Hi, I'm trying to unmute.
Okay, please state your name.
Hello, can you hear me? I'm trying to unmute my phone and I wasn't sure if it was going through.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great, thank you. My name is Yukio and I am a resident at 63 Highwood Road. And I am here tonight to just share with you, and I shared this letter from community members about the West Hartford Democratic Town Council sharing a press release about the silent vigil, and it contained anti-Asian racist words, and wanted to bring that to your attention. And as a town, since this summer, we have, declared racism as a public health crisis, and one of these things, and the use of the racist word yellow in the press release shared by the Democratic Town Council on Facebook, on Twitter, on their website, was very hurtful and negligent on their part, especially as a town that prides itself in being progressive and racially aware and sensitive. So I just wanted to, bring this to your attention, but also if there are ways that we, the community members, can work with the Human Rights Commission, who have been at the forefront of doing a lot of the work around community learning opportunities for marginalized communities and different identities, in improving our West Hartford life for the Asian and Asian American community members. And, you know, we have laid out some action plans for the DTC and for the town of West Hartford to take to, you know, move things forward and in improving our community and, you know, our ability to exist in this town in a safe way. And wanted to just get your feedback, and if there's a way that we can have you endorse or sign on to this letter as we move forward with engaging the DTC and the town council. Thank you.
Thank you, Yukio.
Do we want to move on? This is Sarah Raskin. Should we move on to the next call? Yuki, are there other callers on that want to discuss the same issue?
I think Tracy Wu Fastenberg and Judy Wyman Kelly were also calling in. If they would like to, they can speak to it. But I know that, you know, you guys have a full agenda, so I wasn't sure if there was time to do so.
And then is it okay with you if I just share your letter to the screen right now? It'll be viewed by anybody watching this in West Hartford, and it will be permanently on the YouTube channel. But if that's okay with you, maybe we can glance at it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sarah, I want to clarify this is Barry Walters, co-chair. Our caller indicated that it was the town council. A few times there, and then towards the end referred to the DTC. And I believe this is not the town council, that this is a different organization, unelected, that we are referring to. Is that correct?
Sorry, that was my, I think that was my bad in calling it the Democratic Town Council, but you're right, it is the Democratic Town Committee that was the one that shared the press release by, we, the people who have been organizing the silent vigils within West Hartford. Yes, so this is, it was shared by the Democratic Town Committee. But then we have lined out some action plans for the DTC to take, and as well as, asks of the town of West Hartford and the town council to consider in moving forward as a community. Does that clarify?
Yes, thank you.
This is Sarah Raskin. So I'm actually having a little trouble finding it, but I'm going to keep looking. Can you also shared with me the response of the DTC? And so I would just like to spend a minute hearing which parts of that response helped alleviate your concerns, what more you might want besides that. Now, we are not directly related to the DTC. We could support a recommendation, but I'd like to look at the other recommendations that you have for the town.
This is Pramod Pradhan. Sarah, would you like to look for the letter, or do you want me to move on to the next caller?
This is Sarah. Sorry, I was muted. I'm going to search for another minute, but I was hoping if someone from the group could speak to their sense of the DTC response that they received.
Sure, this is Yukio Ida again. The response from the DTC, again, as a town, I think we have come together, especially over the last several months, around the continued ongoing anti-Black racism and violence. And the town has taken steps to declare racism as a public health crisis. And last night at the town council meeting, they have recognized Juneteenth as a day that they will hold to do events and whatnot. And, there have been a lot more opportunities for the community to learn about these things. And they have been, there has been a lot of movement for sure. But, in terms of this incident against the Asian and Asian American population in our community, even, with COVID, right, back in March, there was never really an acknowledgement of the rise in the anti-Asian racism, harassment, and violence that is going on. And it was disappointing that, here it is again, it's not physical violence towards our community members, but the use of the racist word, as well as when they tried to edit it, they just erased us entirely and did not replace with, any acknowledgement or using other words, that might be appropriate to the situation. But, the town and the DTC and, the Human Rights Commission have definitely been doing a lot of public, outwardly facing learning opportunities. But, I think we are looking for, now more the policy side of things and ensuring that, that it is not just an outwardly public thing, but we are also looking internally at all our structures in place so that these things don't happen again.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. So here are some of the things that you have asked for. So to create opportunities for all our town leaders and the community to learn about systemic racism, implicit bias, discrimination, microaggression, and their impact on marginalized communities and how to disrupt those systems. Advocate and create structures and policies that improve social determinants of health since they passed the resolution. Create a racial justice coalition at the town level with representation from community, youth, business, DTC, GOP, members of the Board of Ed, etc. The representation must mirror the diversity of the community and collaboration and concerted effort from all existing town commissions and boards. So I think that this is really wonderful and needed and very sweeping. And I think I'll see if any of the commissioners have any other comments, but I think that we probably don't have time to really give this the kind of thoughtful consideration that we ought to. And what I'd like to do is make this the main focus of a future meeting. But let me give the floor over to other commissioners if they have anything they'd like to say.
Adrian Billingsmith here. I appreciate you being here today, Yukio, and bringing this to our attention. I've read through it a couple of times and haven't had a chance to personally speak with you about it. But I agree with the language that was chosen, the erasure of an entire community. And I think that these are, if we're going to claim things as far as like the resolution, then I absolutely agree that we need to continue moving forward and taking action to hold our town and our commissions accountable in these ways. So even though DTC isn't its own organization exclusive of the actual town, I do believe that, we do have representatives that are within the DTC and they agree with you wholeheartedly that it was a horrible mistake and that it needs to be fixed, and we have to learn from those mistakes in order to move on. As I've spoken to some other people, I've spoken about the fact that it's not about being perfect. It's about acknowledging individuals and acknowledging communities and apologizing for those mistakes so that we can learn together. So I do appreciate this. And Sarah, I do agree that this would be better moved to something that so we could focus directly on this issue and see how we can move forward as a commission ourselves in the same way.
Barry Walters, co-chair. I'm going to agree with both Sarah and Adrian that it is a topic for a full discussion and not just a brief snippet amongst the other items that we have on the agenda. And I would move that we definitely place it on the next meeting, and perhaps expand it to be a little bit more encompassing. I oftentimes like to make things more specific, but in this case, it's not applicable to anyone. I mean, it's not applicable to just the DTC. There are things in here that are applicable also to the town council, and there are things that multiple parties would have to play a part in to see them through. So it's not even fair actually to discuss it in too much detail at this point. So I would say definitely on the next meeting that it should be a topic all of its own for further discussion. Thank you.
This is Krishna Adhikari, a member. I agree with Barry and Andrea. Actually, this is the most important topics for our agenda, and we just acknowledge the issues, and we have to go details about what are the issues and how we can move forward in the details discussions with the full committee. It's better to move for the next meeting. I agree on that point. Thanks.
This is Sam, member. I'd like to echo all what you just said, and I'd like to thank Sarah for bringing this to us. And I agree, and I read the recommendations and those letters, and I think that's things we should all get behind and support. So thank you so much for bringing this to our attention.
This is Dawn Ennis, member. I think what this incident brings to mind is that if we don't elevate voices in our community that are, let's say, targeted by this mistake, then we are all going to suffer these kind of mistakes again and again. But we also have to be sensitive to the fact that if there aren't voices represented, then it falls to us to make sure that everyone is represented. And I'm very proud that we are addressing this. I'm just sorry that it had to come to this for us to recognize this blind spot.
Sarah Ruskin, co-chair. Okay, if there are no other comments from the commission, then Yukio, thank you so much for your hard work and for shining a light on this and allowing us to work with you, and for bringing concrete suggestions, because it's always hard when people just bring to us a problem. We're not a body that can create solutions. But when we have concrete suggestions like this, it's something we can really talk about in depth at our next meeting. And I'll be sure to let you know how to join us for the next meeting if you'd like to do that.
This is Yukio again. Thank you so much for the time, and I really appreciate, there's a great group of community members working on this that have come together. So it's not just me, it's, there's more people than just me on that list, that letter that has signed, and more people that we are talking to and collaborating with. So thank you for the opportunity, and I look forward to continuing this conversation either by email or in other ways in between this meeting and the next. Thank you.
Yes, I was going to say, please keep us informed if you're doing the work between now and our next meeting, which is the beginning of January. Please, if you could, keep us in the loop so that
Sure.
we know what work you're doing.
Will do. Thank you so much.
All right. Do we want to see if there are other callers on other topics?
Okay, I see this is Pramod Pradhan. I would like to call on number 8603 and ending with 23. If you can unmute your phone and state your name and your topic. Thank you.
Hi, this is Tracy Wu Fastenberg of Castlewood Road. I was joining also on the topic of the letter just discussed, and thank you all for taking it up. But that is the only comment that I have.
Thank you. We have another caller starting with 8605 and ending with 53. If you can unmute your phone and state your name and your topic.
Before I want to just make sure you can hear me. This is Jay Toolin. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. My name is Jay Toolin. I also recognize that you have a very steep agenda tonight, so I'll make this brief. I'm the chair of the Farmington Human Relations Commission, and I just wanted to make a couple of comments. The first thing is I'm very excited to say that our Human Relations Commission is recognizing International Human Rights Day before our town council meeting next Tuesday on December 8th. I mentioned this because I had hoped that we were going to model something after what you're doing. That's not exactly what we're doing. We're going to be doing a brief PowerPoint presentation. Our town council chair, which is the closest thing we have to a mayor, is going to read a proclamation, and a couple of other members of our commission are going to be reading some excerpts from the articles from the declaration. Then we're going to do a PowerPoint presentation basically introducing our council to what this is, and in particular recognizing the women that were chiefly responsible for this being what it is, in particular Eleanor Roosevelt. And I'm hoping that in the future this will be an event kind of like what you do, which is why I just wanted to mention that. The other thing I wanted to speak to is I see further down in the agenda, meeting of HRC across the state, which I believe is an effort to try to get other human relations or human rights commission chairs together to kind of powwow and talk about what they're doing. And I just wanted to say that I fully support that. That's it. Thank you.
This is Sarah Raskin. Hi, Jay. So Jay's been at our meetings before, and I did share, I think I connected you to Herb Brockman, who was the other one that wanted to get, so just to catch everyone else up. In the past, Jay and then also Joe Keogh from Guilford have joined us, and we've talked about starting with our 3 towns, branching out and getting all the towns in the state together. And then Herb Brockman came forward separately and said he wanted to get all the towns in the state together. So I think we just keep supporting the effort, and hopefully we'll end up picking a date. I know Herb had identified 10, I think, human rights commissions or human relations commissions across the state, and it would be great for us to join forces.
Yeah, I counted a few more, but I have a feeling some of them may not be active. I also did reach out to Herb. I haven't heard back from him yet, but I recognize we're in a holiday time, so I fully expect to hear back from him. Thank you, Sarah.
All right, I think there are no other callers, right?
This is from, yes, Sarah. There's no other caller right now.
Okay. So what I would like to do in the interest of time is just skip to a discussion of the event that we're having next week, so that we can be sure that we've dealt with that. And then we can move on to other orders of business if we still have time. So I will say that I have now all the readings. I have the dance from Donna, but Pramod, I don't know if you got my email. Can you type out for me the name of she says the name of the dance, but there's no way I have any idea what she's saying, I'm embarrassed to say. So if you could type it out or ask her to type it out, because I'm putting captions on everything for people who are unable to hear. And so I want to be able to type out what she said, and I want to do it accurately.
Sure. I will do that. I'll send you early tomorrow morning.
Thank you. This is Sarah asking again. So we have dance from Donna. We were unable to get LaTanya Farrell, though she'd love to do it next year. She just hasn't been singing because of COVID and feels too rusty to try to put something together. So instead, Kate Callahan is going to do something for us again. The Conard Voices of the World, he'll let me know Saturday if they can do it or not. He's been trying to get the students to each send him a video, and then he's going to weave them together. But the students have been slow in responding, unsurprisingly. So he'll know. Their due date now is Friday, their hard due date, so he'll let me know what he got in. Then we did have Julie Chofel, our West Hartford Poet Laureate, do a lovely poem. Not her poem, actually, she read somebody else's poem. So what am I forgetting? Oh, and then with Mixashon at the beginning was, oh my gosh, Don, your filming and his performance is just so beautiful. What a great way to start the event. And then Yarek Lees had offered to do, which is amazing, he's with the Hartford Symphony Orchestra, and he had offered to do a song for us just on his own. He came forward and said, would you like me to do a song? But I think maybe he and Don are having trouble connecting. I'm not sure. I'll let Don talk in a second. And then Takesha Everett is our main speaker. And I think they've also been having trouble connecting, but fingers crossed they're going to do the filming tomorrow. So, okay, I'll turn it over to Don.
I don't think we're having any trouble connecting. It's more about them just making themselves available.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. I'm just, first of all, I was not aware that, you corrected me in terms of portion reading versus presenting or speaking. So I apologize for that ignorance on my part, but I just don't know what it is. Other than staking them out and doing like a perp walk, I don't know what else to do.
This is Sarah asking. No, I think you're doing great. I just was wondering if you had anything scheduled, but it sounds like no.
No, this is Don Ennis saying that I have nothing to report other than what I've already sent you.
This is Sarah asking. Thank you. So then the other thing that we need to do, I don't know if Jen is even listening, but I was thinking that the simplest thing would be have the whole thing be just one long pre-recorded video so that we don't have to go back and forth between live and video and blah, blah, blah. But does anybody feel like we ought to have a live kind of intro or a pre-recorded but looks like it's live? How are we starting off? Are we just starting off with Mixashon? Are we starting off with some explanation of what's happening over the evening? I can put up a slide that explains what's happening over the evening, but I'd like to hear what other people, like, how are we introducing them? Like, I can put together dance and reading and talking and performing, and I'm going to put little intro slides before each performer saying who they are and what they're doing. But how do we want to start the whole event?
This is Ed.
This is Adrian Billing-Smith. Was someone else trying to speak? Was that you?
It was me. I can wait. I'll
go ahead, Don. Go ahead, Don.
My thought, having only experienced one of these last year, is that we should, as much as possible, try to simulate the idea that we are doing this the best we can, and if we could, it would be Barry and Sarah introducing everything at a podium in an auditorium, but we can't do that. So I just think that if we can't do it live, and that's fine, we should pre-record something that welcomes people and introduces them. And I would move that it would be Barry and Sarah, but it's up to you folks. I would like to vote for something that puts a human face to this, not just a slide.
Adrian Billing-Smith, that's exactly what I was going to say, Don, is that I think something needs to be pre-recorded by the chairs. Yeah, exactly, to put a human face to it and not a slide to start it, because then people will automatically to me, just move past it. But if it's you guys, explaining what's going on, explaining the event, I think it'll look much better if there's a way to get you guys to get a pre-recording.
This is Sarah Raskin, co-chair. Just that brings us to our next item of business after we finish discussing the event, which is voting for new officers. So whoever the co-chairs are can introduce the event. It will not be the current co-chairs. So just making that point.
This is Assam. So I was wondering if we can, my suggestion was, or I was thinking of, if we can have a slide that will explain what's going to happen and just keep it on the screen for the first maybe 5 to 7 minutes till people start coming in, and just allow them a couple of minutes to allow people to come in and just they can read, because every time we do a live meeting, people will come later and they will miss what we said earlier 2 minutes ago, and we might repeat that. So I think if there's a slide that will be on the screen for the first couple of minutes, everyone will be able to read it, and once people come in, as people log in, that will be able to stop us from keep repeating what's going to happen all the way. I think that would be a good idea. Then we take the start with a quick welcome from the co-chairs, just right away. Hey guys, as we explained in our slide, that's what's gonna happen. We welcome you and the event. I think that will help people. What do you think?
This is Sarah Raskin. Yeah, absolutely. I think that makes total sense to have something up there as people start. So, the first 5 minutes will just be sort of, I'll put some music to a slide.
Some music.
Thank you for joining us. We'll be starting soon. Here's the agenda. I think that's a great idea. Any other thoughts or comments? So I will try to get it done. If Dawn gets to Takesha tomorrow, I'll try to put that in it and put it in a Dropbox so everybody can see it and give me comments and edits and stuff. There might be a few things still coming in. I just lost exactly what I was going to say.
That's okay. I have a comment. Barry Walters, co-chair. My suggestion regarding who speaks as a matter of introduction is actually the outgoing chairs and the incoming chairs as a way of introducing the new incoming chairs. Again, I'm not usually one for expanding things. I'm one for condensing, but in this particular case, I think it would be nice to be able to say, the baton is being passed and these are the new chairs. So even if it's not exactly as I just said it, it's outgoing chair, incoming chair type of thing. So that's my thought. We don't have to go with it, but that would be my suggestion.
Sarah Raskin, co-chair. So are you thinking, how are we videotaping this? Will we be all on a Zoom call together and tape that Zoom call?
Well, I'm Barry Walters, co-chair. I'm trying to remember, and perhaps one of these fine young gentlemen here and gentlewomen can help me, because I do not recall, you can record Zoom, but would we be able to take that recording as a file and do it?
Yes.
Okay.
I do that a lot.
Well, then that may be the easiest thing, because then at least we're all together and we can do our little Hollywood Squares thing.
The only, this is Don Ennis. The only problem I notice is that when you record Zoom, it records the speaker only, and you don't see the other people unless they're speaking.
Sarah Raskin, co-chair. I can do it with Kaltura Capture. So I do that when I have like a sign language interpreter, because you're right, Zoom will make them disappear.
Yep.
But with Kaltura Capture, it just records whatever's on my screen.
This is Don Ennis. That's great. I wish I had known that for the for the Transgender Day of Remembrance. New business. We need to get a baton.
Sarah asking co-chair Don Ennis, why didn't you ask us to help support Transgender Day of Remembrance?
Because this is Don Ennis, because I am just remembering that it existed and I am swamped with everything else. I'm sorry. I will remember in future years. It's just,
Sarah asking
Nothing-
co-chair, we'll remind you in future.
Nothing like putting somebody on the spot.
I know. So, are we, Sarah asking co-chair, are we ready for elections?
How are we going to do this?
Sarah asking co-chair, so why don't we take nominations and then maybe people can text the secretary, text me, text Barry, their choices?
Well, in the past, what has happened is that the nominations are made and then everybody gets to vote, and our liaison, also known as promote, is the one that collects them and announces the winner. So I would think that either a text or an email to promote would be the way to do it. And
Or a chat. How about a chat? Can we do private chat on WebEx?
well, I
Yes.
don't.
Yeah, you can.
This is Krishna Adhikari, a member. Yeah, I think we can communicate Pramod by voting the people. Then Pramod can compile the results and the published. That might be the good idea. What do you think?
This is Pramod Pradhan. I mean, if I can say, I mean, that sounds better. Like the same thing as Sarah and Barry did last time, on that paper, and you can just send it over to me. I mean, that sounds good. I mean, if you can even do a private chat, but sending the paper, email, I mean, I think that sounds better to me.
Sorry.
Barry Walters, co-chair. I think an email is the best way to go, just because then there's a paper trail. Not that I don't trust any one of us, but if there's a question, we can produce it. There's, as long as they don't get lost on a server somewhere.
Sarah asking co-chair Pramod, which email would you like us to use?
The library email, I can send it out to you, or you already have it, ppradhan at westhartfordct.gov.
Okay. So I'd like to, Sarah asking co-chair, I'd like to open the floor to nominations.
And let's point out there'll be co-chairs, correct? Continuing
So
with two.
Two chairs. And I think we had agreed that there would be an official position of past chair. So the current chairs would have an official position of past chair. And then a secretary or two. And I think we should have a treasurer, because I think we need somebody working on the budget request for the town moving forward.
Now, it's also important to point out in these nominations that myself and Krishna's terms are coming to an end. And while the expectation is that I shouldn't say expectation, the desire is that we stay on until replacements have been placed, but that kind of excludes the two of us from office, I guess you can say.
great. That's 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 great. That's
Yeah. Yeah, this
Is that you,
Krishna
Sarah?
Adhikari.
great. That's great. That's great. That's great.
That's
Did he get that many votes?
Is that my mouse? I don't know.
This is a very got all these votes.
Great. That's great. That's great. That's great.
that's something wrong with ESAM's platform. So that's ESAM.
Okay.
That's great. That's great. That's great. That's great. That's great. That's great. That's great.
It's still going on.
It's
That's
a great
great. That's
boost
great. That's
for
great. That's great.
our confidence here and our self-esteem. We're all great.
Of course.
Sarah asking co-chair, can I ask if Commissioners Walters and Adhikari will be here at the January meeting? You're coming until you're replaced, right?
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Krishna.
This is Krishna, member. I think this is the last meeting for me because of the unless we left the positions.
That's great.
Yeah, this is Krishna again. Now, unless we left the positions and it might be this hard to fill up. I don't know. It's better to leave the positions for the next new member. So this is going to be my last meeting. That's it.
All right, so then we'll have to officially recognize that at the event next week. We'll figure something out. All right, so can I take nominations for co-chair? I want to nominate Adrian.
That's great.
Now, Assam, I think you're doing it on purpose. Assam, maybe sign off and back in.
I like it.
All right.
I think we get caught up to now.
All right. So we're doing just co-chair right now. Barry Walters co-chair. If we're doing just co-chair, and we have for two though. So you're saying Adrian, and then what? The second top vote getter is the other? How do we do that?
I'm just making nominations, so we need to nominate at least two people.
Okay,
That's great.
What is that? So I've made one. I can make another one, but I've made one if Adrian accepts the nomination.
I would like to nominate Assam
For co-chair?
for co-chair, if he's interested.
He's going to say that's great. Do we have any other nominations for co-chair?
Assam, we trust you'll get the phone taken care of.
I second Assam.
And I second Adrian.
I want to nominate Dawn to continue as secretary.
I second Dawn.
Dawn is very quiet. Dawn either got up or...
I'm here. I'm wondering if I can pardon myself. That's what I would
Yeah.
accept the nomination of secretary. That's about it. That's all I can handle.
Oh. Brian, would you accept the position of treasurer? I know that it's been hard for you to get to meetings, so I just don't want to overwhelm you.
Yeah, no, I think I can take that on.
All right. Any other nominations?
So it looks like this is the election, like an election, right?
No voter fraud.
No more contestant, and there are the single positions and the nominee, two chairs and one secretary, one treasurer.
This is Dawn. I know it's not necessary, but I want to just be on record as saying I third the nomination of Assam, and I already put in the group text thing that I am in favor of Adrienne as co-chair as well. So that's on the record.
Promote, do we actually need, Barry Walters, co-chair, Promote, do we actually need to put this on paper and do a vote, or?
I am not permitted to do voice votes. It has to be.
Got it.
Yeah.
So never mind, Promote, we will send you an email.
Okay, thank you.
So, like, I think people can just email Promote that they accept the full slate as proposed.
Okay.
Yep.
Do we have a hard stop at 7?
I don't know.
No,
Was there more to that, Promote?
yes, this is Promote. Yes, I have it till 8. So, this is, yeah. We are good to go.
Okay. Thank you, Promote.
All right, let Promote, this is Sarah asking Coach R, let Promote collect the votes and he can let us know. Meanwhile, did everyone have a chance, are we sticking with first Tuesdays going forward, except for ones that fall on election day or high holidays or that kind of thing?
Adrian Billing-Smith here. I don't, because I feel like the Board of Ed, it has Tuesdays most of the time, and the entire time we've been trying to go around them. I feel like we should possibly change it. I don't know if Wednesday was fine for me. I don't know if Wednesdays are fine for others, but I feel like we're fighting with the Board of Ed every month that I've been here. And
Sarah,
I feel like it's the same.
Back when we were in person, we were just in different rooms, so it didn't matter. But the problem was that frequently one of us, especially Barry and I, would have some business with the Board of Ed, and then we'd be running back and forth between the two meetings. And so I agree it would be nice to, I don't know how we originally, maybe Promote knows why we were always the first Tuesday. But I'm happy to move to a Wednesday.
This is Promote for them. Looking at the current situation, as Adrian mentioned, I think it's if everyone agrees, Wednesday seems to be pretty much working good for everyone, and not. I mean, as you said, Sarah, like back in the days when we were physically there, Tuesdays made a lot of sense, but now I think Wednesdays are making much better choice than the Tuesdays. So my suggestion is to be on Wednesdays.
Sarah Raskin, past co-chair. I will connect the new co-chairs, whoever they are, to Cindy Perini in the town hall, who makes the arrangements for our meetings. And you can run by her the idea of first Wednesdays instead.
I think Barry Walters, co-chair, I think that's actually a great idea. It's been Tuesdays as long as I can remember, and I don't know that there was ever, I don't remember the real reason given at the very beginning when I first joined. It also eliminates the conflicts with elections and a few other things that seem to be only on Tuesdays. So I think that's a good idea.
Okay, so we will have to look at the calendar for first Wednesdays then and check for specific conflicts like holidays and that kind of. If there's nothing else on that, I'd like to look at the human rights calendar. Do we want to pick events and I guess either Dawn or Adrian can take down which thing we picked for each month. So again, for people who are new, one of the things that we had done that I think was helpful for us was to pick something to highlight each month, and we would highlight it on our social media, but also I would interview people from the town working on that issue as a way to shine a spotlight on the amazing things that people are doing in town, but also how you can reach out to get information or get help in some cases. So this is just the United Nations Human Rights Calendar. People have other calendars, they can look at them, but the only one they have in January is the Memory of Victims for the Holocaust. Is that okay, people? February, World Day of Social Justice or International Mother Language Day.
Hi, Sarah, Agent Billing Smith. Are the choosing one or the other? Is that what you? So one or the other. Do you want us to put it in the chat, or do you want us just to say it out loud what we choose?
Sarah asking co-chair, I think we can just chat. We can just talk verbally.
Okay.
And you might know of other things in February or January. I mean, January's MLK Day. I don't know if you'd rather do that.
Barry Walters, co-chair. I think certain holidays, MLK would be one that I would include in this, are kind of standalone and deserve their own time and recognition. You know, these items here, some of them will correspond with a holiday and some will not, and I think that that's okay. That if there's two different things. You know, for a month, because certainly there will be instances where the holiday and, like, you know, for example, January, MLK Day and the Holocaust are both extremely important and should be acknowledged. So I don't think I think we'd be doing a disservice to pick one over the other.
Adrian Billing Smith, I agree. As I look at the calendar, I looked at it a little bit yesterday, but as I look at the calendar, when we recognize these things, is there any way to just, because all of them seem equally important in some of these days, like in March, International Women's Day, International Day for Elimination of Racial Discrimination, International Day of Remembrance of Victims of Slavery and the Transatlantic Slave Trade. Is there any way to do some sort of PR around this? You know, something that we can place on all of our media to make sure that we are recognizing these days in general, or do you want to do one specific day? Are we supposed to talk about it? I guess that's what I'm trying to figure out, because I didn't do this last year. But I would personally do some sort of something on our media that it's all these things are we pick. If we can't just pick just one, that we would then go and try to figure out a way to make sure that we're recognizing more than one day if possible.
Sarah asking co-chair, we can definitely do more. We can do whatever we want. We can do more than one in a month. But the other thing is, I think what we found in prior years was that certain topics come up again and again. So like we might find that there's 3 or 4 different events that all work on, you know, children, or all work on aging. And we might not want to, even though they're all important in their own right, we might be like, you know what, we did that in March. We don't need to also do it in September. So as we go through the calendar, we might find less that we need to do more than one a month. But why don't we, for now, we're going to do the Holocaust and MLK in January. February, do we want to pick one of these two, or do we want to do them both?
Barry Walters, co-chair. It's easy for me to be putting my 2 cents in, but you know, when I originally looked at the list, I thought that recognition I thought it was a great list, and that we could at the very least make recognition of a Facebook post for some of these, and others we go in more depth on. And again, it's easy for me to say that. I'm not going to be the one, that's in front of Facebook for this anyways. So, it's, we look at some of these items. You're absolutely right. We should acknowledge them. And a Facebook post, with a simple acknowledgement, maybe all that's needed for a few of them.
Sarah Raskin, Coach, yeah, we can totally do that. So just to give new people a sense of what we did in the past, basically I would change our background photo on Facebook to be something relevant to the event. And we would post maybe 2 or 3 times a week, once or twice a week, facts about the event, where to learn more, what's the history, what's going on in town that you could connect with. So we sort of all month long had a theme. But we can definitely intersperse 2 themes or 3 themes or whatever we want to do.
It doesn't even have to be that. We can keep the one same theme, and it's the beauty of Facebook. You can post whatever you want. So, our overriding theme for March, we'll pick March, could be International Day of Remembrance of Victims of Slavery and the Transatlantic Slave Trade. There's no reason that in there we can't say Happy World Water Day. I picked that one just because it was the first one I saw, and because David would kill me if I didn't. But that's my point. Point is, it doesn't have to be a theme. It doesn't have to be a big, long, more involved day of action or point of action. It could be just a simple acknowledgement.
Yeah, like this is Don Ennis, March 25th, my birthday.
Definitely, we have to do that.
Yeah, we have to celebrate.
This is Commissioner. So I was wondering, I wanted to just agree with Barry so much with what he said. I know we can do something simple, like, for example.
Is that a Sam?
Yeah, but we can't hear you. He's talking, you're muted and talking. Unmute your phone.
And speak into it.
Still muted.
Isam, can you unmute your phone?
This is Don Ennis. I liked it better when he said that's
great. That's great. That's great. That's great. That's great. That's great. That's great.
Oh.
That's great. That's
Sam, are you hearing that all the time?
Andrew Billick Smith here. Assam, I think what you were trying to say is that you agree with Barry and trying to recognize multiple and using our social media presence to do so. If you can type if that's correct or not. And I think, okay, yeah, got it.
Sarah Ruskin, past co-chair. So, do we want to move through this? Do you want to do it? We don't want to do them all, I assume, or do we? I mean, what should we do? Can we say February both of these? Do we want to do both of these?
This is Pramod Pradhan. I mean, I mean, if I have a voice, I mean, I say we take all of them, and as I had said last time, maybe we can have some of these, picked up and get someone to do an interview with Dawn, and make a video and put it on a Facebook or however we're going to put it out there. But I mean, instead of choosing one upon the other, I think it's better to have them all and put it out every day, or as Barry said, have something along the same day thing too. So yeah, I think it's better to have them all than to pick one over the other.
Right. Barry Walters, co-chair. There's going to be some that we definitely want to highlight each month and do, I think. The other thing, the beauty of Facebook, and I believe the way we have ours set up is, we don't have to, and I don't want to make light of any of these days, but things can be scheduled in advance for posting. So, we don't have to sit in front of it every single day and tend to it. There will be things that you can just go in once or twice a month and add them in there and schedule them to appear on a certain day.
Sarah asking co-chair, and maybe somebody wants to help me if this is how we're going to do it, but it's not only the remembering on the 17th to do this, which you're right, we could schedule on the 1st, all of them, but it was research. Like I would put in time to find really good resources, to find out if anybody in town was working on the issue, to find out the history of the issue. So I'm not sure that I can commit to doing that kind of research with all of these. So if we could pick one a month to do that with, and then the other ones I can just post, today is World Water Day, and here's one link to World Water Day.
Adrian Billingsmith, yeah, I think that sounds reasonable, but I think, if there are, during the month, if there are more than one, then I don't mind contributing and doing research with you. I'll add that to my calendar, of course.
Nice, thank you.
So I think we can just go through it and try to figure it out together, if that's okay with you. Okay.
Is that okay with everybody if Adrian and I just go through the calendar? Does anybody else want to help?
This is Krishna Adhikari, member. Yeah, I agree with you that if you can have a detailed research of some of them, and some of them we can just post in the Facebook page. So as long as we have time, you have a time, actually we are going out, and you can do the detailed in-depth research, and some of them, and the one which we can give more focus on those. I agree on that point. Thanks.
Anybody else want to work with Adrian and I on this? I just want to make sure to open that up if people are interested. All right, good. So I have us at 5 after 7. I think that we have covered the issues that I felt like were most pressing. There's no more follow-up, is there, on MLK Day celebration in West Hartford?
Yes, there is stuff that's being planned right now. We're talking about community conversations, breakout rooms. If you guys heard, I don't know if anyone has heard about Goodman Green and it being renamed this past weekend. That's something. Well,
I did not hear that. It's success. It went through.
It was a success. My organization, Concerned Parents of Color, we proposed the renaming of Goodman Green. You'll know the whole background about it. Anyways, we collaborated with the town and the First Church of West Hartford, the congregation, and they officially voted the name to be Unity Green. So we will have an announcement around that, and hopefully that'll also be included in the MLK celebration. So we're trying to do figure everything out with breakout groups with Wasco and Noah Webster and the town in order to have these breakout groups and have speakers, maybe some music. So there are things that are in the works now. So
congratulations.
Thank you. Great. Very exciting. Very, very historical moment for our little town. I'm proud of us. Really.
I actually just learned the history of Goodman, I think at your Juneteenth event.
Yeah. I'm just really proud of the congregation and humbled by them taking it on and willing to move it through and help do the work. They started to rewrite their history of the church and for the town for their own, archives. So it's been a collaborative effort, and we're working toward, the announcement of it all, and hopefully our next Juneteenth will be,
that'll be, you know, a big thing. So
This is
Awesome.
Dawn.
That's great.
So excited. Can I ask you a question? How did you come up with Unity Green? I love the name.
so, you know, went back and forth. Should we name it after an individual person? Is this something that needs to be more broad? And the conclusion that I and other individuals in my organization came to is that this was about healing our community and speaking to the history of our community, talking about slavery, talking about indigenous individuals. It's a place where we celebrate our equality every year and pride. So we just wanted to make sure that everyone's story was being told on this piece of land. So just reclaiming the land for the community in order to unify us. So that's how Unity Green popped up in my head.
Sarah Raskin, co-chair. Pramod, do you want to tell us the election results?
I'm not saying it. This is Krishna. Yeah. I'm not saying it. Did you?
Still waiting.
Oh, we're waiting. Okay.
No, are we going to? I was thinking like last time, and he going to publish the result, and later on he going to send in the email. I was thinking, so I didn't submit the. Let me go to do the votings. Now you say P Pradhan, westhartford.gov or org?
.gov.
We go to do right now. Okay, I'll do right now, but we can proceed with some other business. Okay.
Okay. I think so. So we do have an update that both the Democrats and the Republicans are planning to fill the vacant seats. I think the Republicans have a person in mind that they're going to put forward. The caucus just has to vote on it, and then the Democrats are aware that they have 2 seats to fill. So hopefully that'll happen soon. If you know people that you think would be good additions, please do encourage them to send a letter of interest and a resume to Essie. Okay. I think the Sustainable Connecticut funding, I don't think there's anything we want to apply for. I know Barry worked with them on Pride.
I did work with them for Pride, and it was a super simple process. It's a couple things that are good is that they will act as your and the term just escaped me, fiduciary. They will act if you do not have, say you're not officially a nonprofit, you're not officially a 501c3, they will act as a fiduciary. And what's great about that is it allows groups, just, you know, everyday people, citizens, you know, to get together and decide they want to make some kind of improvement in their community. And as long as it meets the you know, the qualifications, which I found to be not terribly restrictive, you know, they'll support it, and it will it'll be funded quite possibly. And it's a great grassroots type of program. So, you know, I would say, you know, we haven't had a great need financially for the commission itself. And we've always been able to be funded for the few things that we've needed. But it certainly could come in handy if the commission were to decide to do a special project, or just as something to put out there for people to take advantage of, because it really is not a it's really not specific to a government entity or a nonprofit. People literally can, you know, when I was making the application, there were to moms here in town that wanted more bike education. So they were applying, to see if they could get some kind of funding to do more bicycle safety education. So, it literally can be anybody in town. So it really is a good program to take advantage of. And I can see where there would be issues, many issues, regarding human rights that would qualify.
Thank you. Okay, I think everything else we can wait until our next meeting. Anything else that anybody wanted to make sure that we covered tonight?
Pramod, did you get it? This is Krishna. Pramod, did you get my email?
This is Pramod. No, I haven't. So I have also posted my correct email on the chat, so you can see that.
Oh, West Hartford City. Okay.
Barry, has there been any follow-up with the chief of police about the citizen review board?
Nope, I haven't heard a peep. And I have my opinions on the energy plan thing that was posed to us.
Do you want to talk about that?
Well, no, it was followed up on. I sent in emails and I did not hear anything back. And I just find it odd, the timing. That's all.
So is it something that we as a Human Rights Commission want to support? This was the request that we got about the West Hartford Clean Energy Commission.
Remind me when it's yet to be voted on, or it was voted on?
We also, while we're on this, we should talk about whether anybody's going to go to the Rosita Haskins invited us to the school event. I'm going to try to go myself, I think, but is anyone else going to try to go? I think it's the 16th.
Adrian Billings, I'll be here, but I'll be representing. I mean, I can wear two hats if you'd like me to, but I'll be there.
I might be there. I'm going to try to be there.
Okay, so this is the draft clean energy plan. And they're trying to get all kinds of groups together to support it, including us. They welcome comments. It doesn't say a date.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't see a date.
It may not be scheduled yet.
But I did send, I think I forwarded to everybody the actual document. Yes? Did people get it?
The reason why I was asking about a date is it may be something that everybody reads a little bit more in depth and you come back and have a formal vote to support on it. I don't know if everybody's read it in depth.
It's like 30 pages long.
Right. And I know that it does specify page 23. about engagement and that kind of thing. But there's things in here, according to the email, that are applicable to, shutoffs, utility shutoffs, and affordability issues. I think that if people haven't read it, it probably should be read in depth a little bit and given some due diligence for we can't support it if everybody hasn't had a chance to read it. So I would propose that it be formally put on the January meeting as as homework to read and to come with comments and whether we will support it or not.
Sarah Raskin, and I can resend if people need me to. From do we have election results?
I'm still waiting from Krishna. So this is Pramod. Krishna, did you get my email and are you sending it? Krishna, are you there?
Yes, I'm sending now.
Another item that was brought to us by Joe Kehoe of Guilford is this female genital mutilation bill that she's been interested in. She came to talk to us about it last legislative session. Again, I don't know if people have a chance to read it or think about it. I think we did support it last time, but that just meant we said we supported it. We didn't testify or write anything up or anything like that. It's a little bit controversial, so maybe we can also put that on a future agenda. There are folks, it's surprising some of the groups that are opposed to it and why. And so I can maybe ask them to share their thoughts too.
Mary Walters, co-chair. I think it would be appropriate to have somebody come in and present on it. I also, going back on the clean energy plan, the email, if you notice, had referenced town manager Matt Hart, planner Todd Dumas, and Councilman Ben Winograd. Perhaps one of them could come in and talk about the clean energy plan as well.
That's a great idea, but now I'm feeling like this isn't all going to be January. So maybe January could be the racist event and one other thing. And one other thing. And then February can be clean energy. We can do all this in one meeting.
All right.
Did you get my
Yes.
email?
Yes, I got your email. So the voting was unanimous. So we have co-chair Adrian Billing-Smith and Isam Murray, secretary for Don Ennis, and treasurer Brian Greenleaf.
Yay! Thank you all.
Congratulations to new members, new officers.
And thank you so much to Barry and Krishna rotating. Although Barry, you're staying with us till you get replaced, right? And then Krishna rotating off. We can't thank you enough for all the years you've put in.
Thank you. This is Don Ennis. I just want to add, that's great.
I want to add a few more words. I've been in this Human Rights Commission since 2016, 15.
15.
And this is 66 year. And I was wondering, it's a very, very active commission, becoming active actually. When I was in the commission, it was slowly starting the different idea and the issues and the subject matter we're covering. And now when Shira and Barry become the co-chairs and they are leading the commissions and giving a height to the West Hartford Commission, I thank you, you guys, and you did a good job, great job. And now our West Hartford Human Rights Commission becoming a leader of the community sounding cities. And that's an example of our sounding cities. So this is all about you guys' leadership, and I congratulate you guys' efforts. And we have a more talented, energetic people in the committee now. And wish you all the best, new commission, new committees. And thank you guys working with together. And I appreciate your efforts, and the human rights commissions, they deserve to get the thank you. And lastly, I'm going actually from this commission. I am going to miss you guys, and I love you to work with together. Although I couldn't give it too much input to the committee, but this was a learning time for me, and I learned a lot about human rights issues and the agendas and the West Hartford and these community issues. So let's hope this commission is going to be a leader of the West Hartford commissions among the commissions. Thank you, and wish you all the best, all of your efforts. And thank you, Sarah and Barry, and thank you so much, you guys. Thanks.
We're going to miss you a lot.
Thank
It's
you so
great
much.
learning from you.
It was great to have you and to meet you. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Don
Wish you
Ennis.
all the best.
And Krishna, I guarantee that we'll be seeing you around town, and you're not going to get away from us that easily.
Let's hope. I'm in the West Hartford since the last 18 years, and I'll be here. We'll see somewhere.
I'm very excited about the direction that the commission has taken, and I, it wasn't all that long ago that this commission was pretty much on hiatus, and it was resurrected, and it's slowly come into itself, and it's great. It's exciting to see where it's going, and very excited to see Adrian and Assam on the commission, and I'll just say, it's I'm looking forward to it. I very much am.
Me too.
I can't wait.
Me too. And I will say, I think if you just look at the amount of correspondence that we got, I mean, this meeting, we had about 5 things brought to us from the community. And I think that's really a sign that people see us as valuable. They see our work as worth supporting. They want our support for their work. So I do think that's a huge sign that we're doing something right.
Absolutely.
This is Pramod Pradhan. Yes, Sarah and Barry, you have definitely taken the commission to a different level. And the respect that we get from the town and the whole community is you can't say it with words. And really thank you from the bottom of my heart for making this commission a great success. And also Krishna, I can never say Krishna because he's like in the community we call anyone who is older Dai, which means a brother. So Krishna Dai, thank you very much for your being a part of this commission since 2015. I still remember the day that I went and told Krishna Dai about the commission and how interested he was, and came up with all the paperwork, and he was so excited. But thank you again for being with the commission and doing all this great job, works. And also, I would like to, welcome Isam and Adrian. So definitely, I mean, these 2 folks are, great, talked about, and will take the commission to another, higher heights. So
yes.
welcome to the commission. And
thank you, Pramod. Pramod is the one who encouraged me to come to the commissions, and he guided me to join the commissions. He's the one. Thank you so much, Pramod.
Sarah, any last minute pardons?
Can I pardon myself? That's what I want to know.
Apparently, it's within the legal limits.
Does anyone move that we adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I guess we're, yeah.
Yes.
We're gonna break the rules. Okay. Abstaining. All right. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Happy holidays,
Bye.
everybody.
Happy holidays.
You too.
Happy holidays.
Happy New Year's. See you next year.